What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Tuesday, another episode of the Focus TV right here at Bliss.fm. So, Octavia, we know you're excited today, so go ahead and greet everybody, get this out the way. Because you're on like 11 right now.
Hello.
So we're going to play it back, cool? All right. That's fine. So, Cardell, you had a busy weekend.
Yeah.
We had a busy weekend. Your weekend involved traveling. Mine just involved going from Woodbridge to D.C.
Yeah.
So talk about your lengthy trip and why it was so worth it. Because I've heard you say nothing but positive things. I saw some of the stuff you were posting this weekend. And for those of you who aren't following Cardell on IG, you missed a lot. So search for Finest Mag. Then go ahead and search for the Focus TV. Then go ahead and hit us over at My Model Sports. But Cardell, what did you see last week? Because it was exactly, if you guys tuned in to last week's show, we had Sean Couch call in to talk about that event. This weekend, Cardell attended the event. So tell us what you got to see, man.
Probably one of the best showcases I've ever seen. Everything was NBA level. Everything. What I'm talking about is the Jim Couch Foundation National Training Showcase, where he hosts the top freshman and sophomore players from around the country. They come in, get extensive training from elite trainers, from the NBA level guys that were there this weekend, train Andrew Wiggins, people like that, work with, the Carmelos, the LeBrons, all these, everybody you done heard of. And they all came and just united to get these kids better. And the word I kind of describe with this event is details. It's very detailed. It was very hands-on. It was 3 gyms, and they split them up in the players in the groups between 3 gyms. One gym was for obviously skill work. The other one was for agility, and reactionary work, and the other one was plyo and strength and conditioning. So it was consistent work all throughout. And then what I love about it, everything was earned. For you to play in the showcase game on Sunday, you had to shine during the game. Doing all the training in the scrimmage the first day. You know what I'm saying? You had to take it serious. You had to put the work in. And if the report got back to Sean or his father that they weren't, they was BSing doing the workouts and stuff like that, they didn't yell at you. They just told you what to do and they just watched. And if you was playing games and everything, hey, thanks for coming. You got some free Nike gear, got a training match, Good luck with your future high school career. That's how I go. But the guys that took it serious, shine, and put the work in, they got a chance to play in the showcase game. And they had everything. They had actually a coach from the NCAA clearinghouse came down to really tell them the details, the core classes that they really need, not what they think they need, with the parents in attendance. So they can't say they don't know. They had a nutritionist come to tell them the proper things to eat, how to sleep, when to drink water, how to drink, what type of water to drink, when you should use Gatorade, the type of foods and everything. Everything was just, straight up first class. And even most showcases, like I said, lunch, hey man, go eat these hot dogs, hamburgers, and chips, candy or whatever, was none of that. It was straight organic food. Like they treated them like pros. Y'all want to be pros, so eat like pros, you know what I'm saying? Authentic, organic food during lunch for them and the families and stuff so they can recover better. Everything was just, I'm looking at that and I'm like, wow. Like everything was literally like NBA type level, training and stuff like that. So with that being said, they scrimmage, and the talent on him was unreal, man. I like it. I know y'all saw the clip, 5'7" kid going between the legs, you know what I'm saying?
With ease.
I'm like, man, freshman, 6'11" already, running as fast as the guard. It's just, the talent on hand is insane. And the reason why the kids are so much more athletic at an early age than we were, like guys my age, they pretty much got trainers from as soon as they born, like, man.
I was say out the womb.
Yeah, exactly. We gonna get these push-ups in, we gonna stretch, you got plenty of time to rest. I know you just got here, but that's what it is. But without further ado, the people who stood out, I'm gonna start with the freshman game. The first freshman I'm gonna talk about is Josh Smith, 6'7" wing out of New York. He's a problem. Tons of skill, athleticism. He could do it all. I don't like comparing him to NBA wings, but he's kind of more in that how McGrady was in Toronto before he really caught on. That's his potential, and he's only a freshman. That's what's scary. And he's 6'7", he growing, and he's already one of the top players in New York. The 6'11" kid, Musa Sisse. That's the raw kid I was telling you about. He goes to Christ the King. He's another one out of New York, blocking shots, and he's mean. He's raw, but he's athletic. He's mobile. Once he gets some skill work and he can match the athleticism and size, I mean, game over. The MVP was Daniel Dixon, another 6'4" guard, real steady, solid guard who knows what he can do. He don't play outside himself. Deadly mid-range shooter. Kind of reminded me of like a young Paul Pierce, the way he just get to his spots and just raise up and make you pay. And the explosive kid I was telling you about, Jalen Murray.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's another one out of New York. That's the one I was telling you about, real shifty. He definitely has that New York flair. He come down and he come down. He's very confident. He knows the right plays and how he knows when to use the tricks and when not to. And
Right.
that's the blend. I can see him down the line. They talking about him like, yo, he's the next one line after Telfair and all these other New York guys as Lance. I can see them down the line. He got a time, but he was a problem, and he's a natural leader. Like, he was even directing a lot of the kids, telling them what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, one kid got a flagrant for just talking too much, even after the ref warned him. And he going to the bench side coach like, why he kicking me out? And then Jalen stood up, was like, yo, you were wrong. The ref said be quiet. You kept talking. So you just that's the type of dude he is. I like a Chris Paul type leadership. He's already on that. Mozzie Jackson, or amazing. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. That's the clip y'all saw on IG where he got the outlet pass and he dunked on the kid. Yeah, he's only 6 feet.
Banged on him with the right hand.
Yeah, he's only 6 feet. Explosive scorer. Remind me a lot of Monte Ellis, true freshman. You know what I'm saying? He's teammates with Josh Smith, the 6'7" kid. Both of them going to play at New York, Bishop Leonard High School, so I expect them to do a lot of damage on the next few years. And unfortunately, the kid that he dunked on, Khalil Brantley, I know Carolina, but, I give him respect. He's short. He was 5'9", but he jumped with him, you know what I'm saying? And he came right back at him. How New York, you get him. They like, come on, what you going to do now? They gave him the ball. He came down, spent off dude. Jumped in it, did a nice up and under layup, spent in there and went in. Like, he's a dog. I'm talking to him, his favorite player is Russell Westbrook, and you can see why he's viciously competitive on both ends. Because when he got dunked on, he looked at him like, I know you ain't just, it wasn't like, it was like, I know he ain't just do that to me. He's like, nah, it was more like that instead of like, oh my God, take me out. So, those are the guys that kind of stood out for the freshman class. The sophomore, obviously the headliner with the older kids. Taylor Martin, somebody you may, be seeing in the UConn, because UConn offered him.
I would love that.
Down the line.
Is he a wing or is he another guard?
Yes, he's a 6'4" guard. Yes,
hey,
yes.
Stupid
Athletic, man. He floats. That's the kid in the other clip. He did it in and out half court, took off, and floated and dunked on the dude at the he was at the top of the square.
What's his name again, real quick?
Taylor Martin.
Taylor Martin.
Yes, he's a sophomore. But he can also, he needs to work on his jumper and everything, but slashing, getting to the basket, defense, rebound, he got that already. Superb athlete. He already has an NBA athleticism, already has offers from UConn, Rutgers, UMass, Rhode Island, Virginia Tech, and those offers the numbers are going to go up. He's just too talented. Len Greer III, if his name sounds familiar, he's the son of Len Greer, who used to play at Temple. A guy I definitely watched growing up who was nasty in his own right, but his son's following his path, and he's a little bit bigger. He's 6'3", very, very savvy, skilled point guard, can shoot and score from all three levels, and also make plays for his teammates. Just a typical, traditional point guard, knows how to play, and he's obviously been taught well. He grew up in a basketball family, and with the high pedigree his pops, have, the sky's the limit for him. Another NBA player, the son of an NBA player, Jabri Abdul-Rahim, Sharif Abdul-Rahim's son. 6'7" wing. He got MVP of the game. He's not in the same mode as his father. His father's more like a stretch four. This guy's more perimeter oriented. His son. He has every skill in the book. He can score at will. He was relentless. And he's ranked 8th by ESPN in this class, the 2020 class. But he could do it all, man.
You think he's still growing, or he gonna end up?
I don't see why not, man. He's just 15. He already is 6'7", so yeah.
I was just asking, just his pop 6'9", 6'10", so.
I wouldn't be surprised if you get around that. And with his offensive game, with that size being on the perimeter, it seems like that's where the game's going. You're gonna see a whole lot of 6'9", 6'10" wings. You know what I'm saying? I know like KD, the Greek freak, so, but he can shoot it, he can score. Athletic, knows how to play. He's obviously, NBA pedigree, man, is what you would expect from the son of an NBA player. And that athletic kid I was telling you about from North Carolina, Jalen Cole, kid who went between his legs, 5'7", but don't let the size fool you. I'll be honest, he's one of the most athletic players I see at that stage as a sophomore and at his size. I mean, he does it at ease, man. And he did it in the game. It'd be one thing he was just like a, practice dunker, you know what I'm saying? But nah, in the game, man, he got on the break. He cocking back like Spreewell, young Spreewell, Warrior Spreewell at 5'7". Dude's not even jumping with him. And but he could play. It's not just he's a great athlete. He could play. He could shoot. He can make plays for others with his explosiveness, man. He's a capable lockdown defender if he wants to be. I mean, he's a serious talent, man. And I'm surprised I never heard of him. But with his style of play, man, he's definitely gonna hit the national scene. The only thing I worry about with him, he get caught up in the one-on-one games because he know he nice.
Yeah.
But if he know how to balance everything, he's gonna be a problem. Because a la Nate Robinson, but there you go, good comparison. He's like a blend of Nate Robinson and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas skill, but Nate Robinson athleticism. So
Not at all.
yeah, so sky's the limit for him. Sam Clory is 5'9" point guard, sharpshooter. He don't miss. You can't leave him. If you leave him, he gets a shot off. Just go back. Just go down the other end. It's that simple. High IQ, knows the game. But, his specialty is shooting. Power forward to keep an eye on, Jake Tavroff. 6'8" power forward. He's more of a bruiser, hustle guy. But they does the dirty work. But he can step out. He's skilled. He can step out, do the, shoot mid-range. Know how to pass from the high post, low post. It's real cerebral play on top of that high motorness. So, he's another kid out of New York. So New York was definitely, they're deep in that 2020 class, for sure. Josh Gray, center, another one out of New York, 6'10" center, true big man, kind of in the DeAndre Jordan mode. Runs, block shots, rebounds, finishes strong. He's raw, but you can still see him kind of developing that. You can see him trying stuff, but once he kind of get a post game, he could be a threat offensively. Kid from here, Amir Nesbitt, from Virginia Academy, he impacts the game in every way. He's one of those guys it's not one thing that would jump out to you like, yeah, he got that, but he's just good at everything. He's just one of them guys that's just good in every area, and he makes an impact, and he stays within himself. He does not try to do too much from what he can do, trying to prove himself and everything. And he impressed me just by sometimes I think out of all those kids, he probably was the least known coming in. But by the time he left, you could clearly see he belonged. And that was important. He proved that he belonged by just playing the game, not trying to overdo it, just coming out there and hooping, and he did a lot. And Josh Taylor, what can I say? Like a Tyrus Thomas type. When he was at LSU, 6'7" out of Georgia. Long, rangy athletic type that's just causing problems on both ends. He's a bit raw, as you expect with a lot of bigs at that stage, but he puts points on the board by hustle, catching lobs. But he's a standout defender, shot blocker, rebounder, finisher. Loves to talk. Talks a lot of trash, man. You know what I'm saying? He get up in your face, man. But I like that because he brought he rose the level of competition where everybody started playing harder. And, those are the guys that stood out to me from the weekend.
All right, man. And obviously, you guys, if you didn't know, to get a chance to see all the content that Cardell captured at this year's event, get over to finestmag.com. All right, Octavia, you came in beaming, coming through the door. We know why you're excited about. That's 2 weeks in a row. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Did I really come in beaming? Oh, my goodness.
The floor is yours.
Okay, so we're going to keep this short and sweet. Of course, we're going to start with the Giants, who are currently 1-7, fourth in the NFC East. They played the Seahawks this week, lost 7-24. Their next game they have a bye next week. It's still not much to talk about, to be completely honest. Eli Manning ended up with 19 of 39, 134 yards and 1 touchdown. Running game wasn't really there, and it's hard for them to get a running game with not having any legit wide receivers to open it up for them, so it is kind of hard for them. Darkway ended up with 9 carries for 35 yards. Tight end Evan Ingram is showing out to be like their sole offensive weapon at this point with, everybody being down and injured. He ended up, he was 6 of 12, 60 yards and 1 touchdown. last week we talked about how Ben McAdoo gave up his play calling to the offensive coordinator. So right now it doesn't really look like who's calling the plays is the issue. It looks like how they are executing the plays at this point, because he still called the plays this week and there wasn't really much of a change. They are still getting a little bit more injuries. B.J. Goodson and Justin Pugh, along with a couple of others, were still injured. So they're still waiting to see how that's going to fare out for them. I'm pretty sure they're glad that they have a bye coming up. Go home, chill out, relax for a while, and see what happens the week after. Third in the NFC East, you got the Cowboys, who are now 3-3. They played the 49ers this week and won 40-10. Their next game is going to be against the Redskins next week. Dak ended up 16-25, 234 yards and 3 touchdowns. Elliott has had a great game on all facets of the game. You know, he had 2 rushing touchdowns as well as a receiving touchdown, so it was a 3-touchdown game for him. He ended up with 26 carries for 147 yards. Like I said, 2 touchdowns, and he was 1 of 3 on receptions for 72 yards and 1 touchdown. It was kind of like, you know, you expected the Cowboys to win. It was kind of last week the Redskins played the 49ers, and everybody was expecting for them to kind of win in a good fashion, and this is what they should have done last week. So, you know, definitely shouts out to them for that. It seems like Dak is really starting to get Des Bryant more involved. Des Bryant ended up with 7 of 10, 63 yards and 1 touchdown. Witten was 4 of 4, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. It was an all-around good game for them. They needed that, you know, to kind of get back in the flow of everything. It still looks like they're pushing out this whole appeal and everything with Elliott, so it's still up in the air. Still don't know when that's going to happen. My advice for them is to get it over with as soon as possible, because the longer you drag it out, the more it's going to impact, you know, them actually getting into the playoffs. So I would just take it, get it over with now. But, you know, it's the Cowboys. So the last 2 teams, I'm going to mix it together just because they played each other. So you have the Redskins, who are now 3-3, second in the NFC East, played the Eagles, who are 6-1, first in the NFC East. Redskins lost 24. Eagles had 34. To be completely honest, first series for the Eagles, I was like, what is going on? That was like the worst first series I think I've ever seen in a game. Literally, it was like 5 back-to-back penalties when they went all the way back to their 3-yard line from like the 40. I was like, what is going on? But Kirk ended up being 30 of 40, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns. Chris Thompson had 7 carries, 38 yards, but he was 5 of 5 for receptions with 26 yards and 1 touchdown. Vernon Davis is proven to be, you know, kind of coming back a little bit. You know, a lot of people weren't expecting for him to be as good as he is, or, you know, still be relevant as of now. And he's actually holding his own. He was 4 of 4, 67 yards. Jordan Reed kind of got back in the swing of things, had 2 touchdowns. He was 8 of 10 for 64 yards as well. Carson Wentz was 17 of 25, 268 yards, another 4-touchdown game. He did have that 1 interception, which was ridiculous. He also had 8 carries for 63 yards, and the good thing about that was a lot of those yards were getting first downs. I know everybody's talking about the one play where it looks like he was sacked, but his knee never hit the ground, and out of nowhere he popped up and ran down and got the first down. He's spreading the ball around a lot as well. There are a lot of receivers that are catching the ball. Ertz was 5 of 5 for 89 yards and a touchdown. Aguilar was 4 of 5 for 45 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown pass to Chris Clement was amazing as well. And for Chris Clement to get both his feet down inbounds.
Good jump pass,
yeah. And then, you know, especially with the Redskins, you know, they are injured. They have a lot of injuries going on right now. Josh Norman is still hurt. I believe Sheriff was getting hurt in and out. But Swearinger got burnt, let's just say. He got burnt by Matt Collins for 64 yards, and that was his only catch. So he had 1 of 1, 64 yards for a touchdown. Eagles lose a big piece this week with Jason Peters out for the season with a torn ACL, as well as Jordan Hicks with a torn, I believe it was a ruptured Achilles. So he's out for the season as well. To be completely honest, I'm more so concerned with Jason Peters. Don't get me wrong, Jordan Hicks is a very integral part of it, but there's so many good defensive backs that they can rotate that in a little bit more, because a lot of them aren't even playing a lot of snaps, and that's why they're so fresh and they're able to come in and out and continue to blitz really well. But, Jason Peters is going to be a tough loss, so they really have to find somebody that's going to be able to fill in for that. Still don't know what they're going to do. Everybody's throwing around this whole, is Carson an elite quarterback? Is he in the top tier already? Just my 2 cents. I believe he's on his way. I still don't want to put him in that category yet. It's only his second year. It's only week 7. Don't get me wrong. He's having an incredible season. He's already has 17 touchdowns for the year, more than any other quarterback currently. But I just say, everybody, just pump the brakes. Give him a little bit of time. Let us get through this, But, it's a good time to be an Eagles fan for now. I'm not looking too far ahead. You know how that goes. Cardell over there rolling his eyes. It's cool. So the Redskins play the they play the Cowboys next week.
Yeah.
Sunday 4:25. So they got the late game on Sunday, not late like Sunday night, but they got the game of the week. Mm-hmm. And then the Eagles play the 49ers next week,
which is the opposite of the game of the week.
They'll be on at 1. So you'll get to see both in the area. You'll see the Eagles and the 49ers at 1, and then you see the Cowboys and the Redskins at 4:25.
I won't see either of those games.
I'll be watching both.
Good for you. I look forward. I probably will have earphones next week when you get to your segment.
You never know, man. I don't know. The NFL is so unpredictable.
Look,
it's so crazy.
Stop it. Mm-hmm. Stop it. Gonna take a quick break. You're watching The Focus. When we get back, we got a lot more for you guys. Welcome back. We are back, man. Got a lot to talk about. We told you guys the Wizards segment. We can't go anywhere. It is NBA season. We are 3 games in.
Yes.
Your Washington Wizards are 3-0.
3-0.
To those of you watching, I wish I could say I was surprised by this. I'm not. I don't think anybody here at The Focus is surprised in the least bit. For me personally, I would like the defense to improve, but it's 3 games into the season. I'm not going to make the biggest deal about it, but it's an area that needs to be paid attention to as they go forward. That's all I really have. And Cardell, I know you had a couple thoughts, talking points that you had.
I know you ain't gonna make a big deal out of it, but I am. Because, that's what's keeping the games
close,
competitive. Really they should all be blowouts. But here's some points. Like you said, the Wizards are 3-0. But here's some things to look at. Otto Porter has improved. He's shown he's worth the money. He's averaging 18.3 points on 51% from the field, 38% from 3-point range. So he's still keeping that efficiency, adding 9 rebounds, but leading the league with 3.7 steals and 1 block a game. That was the area where people was like, are you going to turn it up defensively? So he's active defensively. That's what I'm happy to see, because it's adding another element to the Wizards, especially when he's in a game where he's not a liability no more. So that's improving him. Brad Beal playing at an all-star level, posting 23.3 points, 5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.3 blocks a game. Same with him. He's stepping it up all around and, showing he's an all-star caliber player. And the much talked about bench. A lot of people like to I saw a lot of people early in the season trying to throw something like, what are y'all talking about? They're much improved from last year. They're averaging nearly 30 a game. We are at 28.3, but Meek's leading the way at 9.3. And that's with Oubre's starting 2 games. If Oubre comes off the bench and he's averaging 10.7, that's nearly 40 just from bench production. Mm-hmm. That's why they're scoring so much. I think they were like 9th or something in the league in scoring or something like that. But like I said, the concern is defense. Opponents are shooting 47% from the field and 40% from 3. They're not going to beat the top-tier teams allowing that. But what's winning games for the Wizards is free throw shooting. They've attempted 101 to opponents 62 and made 85 to opponents 47. That's how they're closing out and winning at the end. And also, they're taking care of the ball. They're only averaging 14 turnovers a game, but forcing almost 19.7 from opponents. That's another reason why I'm kind of frustrated with the defense, because if that means you're active if you're forcing turnovers. Mm-hmm. But that means they're also kind of gambling. So play more solid, fundamental defense, and those percentages will go down. And then, you be on the Warriors track. You'd be sitting in the fourth quarter, letting the bench players get some minutes because it'd be a blowout. So really, they're beating themselves.
Nah, I'm right here with you. the 40% from three is uncalled for with the type of athleticism and versatility they have. Because right now you're playing 4 around 1. With Gortat as your only true big. And I could deal with Jokic hitting shots as Jokic. You know, that's between him and the 5. That's their issue. But the alarming rate is which other shooters on Denver were comfortable behind that line. It was no reason for that. And that's happened for 3 games.
I mean, just think when we was covering the Pistons game, how many times were you yelling out, yo, let Reggie Jackson shoot?
Yeah.
They kept trying to, like...
And that's the weird part to me is I'm not getting a scouting report. You guys are getting scouting reports. You're walking away from shooters and closing out on people who aren't going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Which, and again, like you said, goes back to it just being fundamentally sound because you're gambling. Because if you just took 2 seconds to think, there's no reason to run at Reggie Jackson for a hard closeout. Now, Luke Kennard, I know he's a rookie.
Yeah, but he gets
as long as he's been on this earth, we identified him as a shooter.
Yeah, you got to get out.
You don't need to leave him. So, you know, like they got a lot of stuff to work on that end of the ball. But you pointed out 3 really good positives where, again, a lot of you guys with this bench talk, it just got to stop.
I mean,
like,
DC, baby.
Like, I mean, just... And then shout out to Tomas last night. He finally got a chance to come off the bench and play. And what I liked about it, he continued this trend of these young guys hunting for shots, being assertive.
Being versatile.
Yep. And that's huge because when other people are aggressive, it eases. Like, look at the space Wall and Beal again right now. Like, did you see that Beal layup where he got close the game out? That floor was so perfectly spaced, and I'm sure they didn't want to leave that cat on the island like that. But you can't help off when Otto's playing how he's playing. That's giving up a 3. And you know, Brad with the work he's putting on the handle, that's slight work right there with the spacing. So again, just tighten up on defense. Things are going to be straight. You got tomorrow night's matchup against the Lakers, which I would go into the whole other side of that, but I think everybody's on social media and we already know what's going on there.
I got something right before.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna come up in a little bit.
So we're gonna get to that. This past weekend, it was the last call to RFK. DC United ended their 22-year relationship with storied RFK. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win the game, which is just pretty much just embodies how their season is gone. Still is a really special night. A lot of emotion. We'll have a video for you guys next week. Just the fans and the team. It really hurt for them to leave that place, even though they know they need a new stadium. Like, they need the new stadium. Long time coming. Also, we got out the Terps Media Day today. It's a much different team than last year. Look forward to sharing some more with you guys next week. But just as I told you guys, like early on when they went to Taiwan, Brenda Freeze keeps saying Kyla Charles is the go-to person on this team. She's the dog on this team. So they get rolling this week, starting with an exhibition on Sunday. So we look forward to that. But, they're only 10 deep. We talked about the Wizards kind of playing 4 out with 4 wings around the big. Maryland women are going to be kind of similar. They got Breanna Fraser, who's kind of she's really like a stretch 4, but she's going to be their big. And then around her, nothing but wings and guards. So going to be a little bit different in that sense because you don't have Bree down to throw it down on a block, win against double and triple teams. But it seems like all the players that's talking to today, they seem to embrace the opportunity to kind of, they were waiting their turn, so to speak. So they're looking forward to it. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we got some rapid fire, and then we're going to get out of here. Coach rave about you all summer. You embracing this new role?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, I'm just trying to do whatever my team needs me to do. So that means if I need to be a better leader and be more vocal, then I'm definitely trying to step up to the plate with that. I usually like to lead by example, so I'm, out of my comfort zone. But I'm more than excited to step up to the role. I just try to, encourage them, push them, and just make sure that we're all on the same, page. So we're gonna have to be together this entire season to be successful. So we're excited.
All right, it's a different group of players, different team. Defenses are gonna have to try to deal with you guys a little bit differently, especially with you and Bree and the post different type of players. And Bree Jones that left, Stephanie Jones as well. Are you guys looking forward to the type of stress you guys can put on the defense?
Yes, I mean we're very versatile as a team overall. I mean Bree can handle the ball, Steph can handle the ball, I can handle the ball. So it's gonna be difficult because if they stop our guards, we can handle it. So we're just excited for the challenge, and we're just excited to go out there and prove, show everybody what we got, what we're made out of.
All right, last question. I heard a lot about the trip to Taiwan. From 7 of your team, they talk great things about the body split. Asia was telling me that coach showed you guys clips from the national championship from Coach B's, one of Coach B's title teams.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do for you guys? And she was saying they were showing you clips of the little things, hustling, boxing out, hitting the floor. What does that do for you guys?
I mean, it's showing us, especially as being undersized, that nothing's impossible, that if we do the little things, it'll all add up and it'll work in our favor. So we're just going to have to go out and work hard every single day. Like, those videos definitely motivated me to, work harder, and I know it, motivate everybody to, get on the same page. So we're just excited to play.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Focus. Cardell, the floor is yours. Rapid fire.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yep. Former Cavs GM David Griffin said he made a mistake drafting Anthony Bennett #1 overall. The quote was, "The issue with Anthony was, and we had no way of knowing it at the time, the kid had no desire to overcome adversity whatsoever. As soon as it was hard, he was out. His whole life he rode out of bed bigger, better, and more talented than everybody else. As soon as it was hard, it was over. And I was the one on campus at UNLV. I'm the one who got sold the bill of goods and bought it, hooked, line, and sinker. You F up sometimes, but I feel bad Chris took it for that, because Chris was the one guy who wasn't sure." What are your thoughts on that?
I'd say it.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. I felt like, I don't know where this came from. Maybe it was just a question that was asked to him. I'm trying to figure out, like, why is he coming out with this at this point?
It's a book being written. Like, I guess he's writing a book about his time with the Cavs, and that's part of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it to me, it was a little bit of trying to save face and then trying not to save face. It was kind of like, putting it on him, but then still just like, I still chose him. So I give him credit for, taking, responsibility, or taking, taking responsibility for your actions and what you chose. And I mean, if it is a book like that, so it's probably like he's trying to get out in front of it and give his opinion about him as a player. But I mean, to me, it's like, it sucks, because that probably is accurate in some type of way, because a lot of times these kids, they think that they're the best thing coming out of wherever they're from, not realizing that everybody that they're going to play against are the best people coming from where they're from too. So are they going to have the mentality and have the drive and determination to push through the initial heartaches and the initial trials and tribulations to everything? It's unfortunate that he wasn't able to do it, but I mean, I still give David, respect for, being honest, like, yeah, I made a bad decision. I should have went a different way, but at this point, it is what it is.
I mean, it's cool that he's owning it. I just like kind of just sharing insight on how hard it is, because some people think in professional sports, it's just, that when you hear everybody's a campus prospect, it's unexact science. And this is a part of what happens sometimes, where you don't know until you physically get your hands on a kid without all the third parties saying something. This, when you finally get him in the gym, you finally get him behind closed doors, and you found out that maybe he doesn't really get after it the way that some people told you he does. And I mean, I give him credit for sharing. Just, that's all I really take from it. It's just one of those cases where I hope people that heard the statement realize that it's a hard job, but it's inexact science.
I mean, for me, it's a message to all the young hoopers coming up, and to the people who's behind them, the coaches and the parents and whatever. But to me, stop calling your kid, because sooner or later they're going to have to fight. And I tell them all the time, it usually starts in college, but even if you get caught with that, you definitely going to have to fight if you make it to the pros. And you think the NBA tough. I got a lot of friends overseas. It's even more ruthless over there. They send your butt home. You broke.
In a second.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, it's. I mean, you don't want somebody to air somebody out like that, but at the same time, that's professional sports. So if you don't want that, don't come. And for him, it's sad, because to me, it's all true. It's fact, because look how many other teams, including this past preseason, he got a chance with, same thing happened. So at some point, you just got to accept what it is, and that's what you're saying. It is an exact science trying to evaluate players, because you can't see what's inside of them. You can't see their heart and how the desire, even though they can be talented as hell.
Yep.
So, Kevin Garnett got a great quote. Give anybody a boatload of money, give them millions of dollars, and see if they'll still work and do the same things that they did when they were broke.
Yep.
That'll tell you all you need to know. And a lot of people, would be satisfied, I got the money, I'm good. But then sooner or later, it's going to be somebody who's hungry, who gets the money, still be hungry, and they're going to eliminate you. So it's just a hard lesson. Giants GM Jerry Reese said New York's 1-6 record is on me. This is the roster I put together, so the 1-6 record is on me. Was his quote? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, it's great that you want to share that, but we know that, sir.
thank you for taking responsibility.
Captain Obvious, thank you.
Yeah.
Lakers took exception to marching Gortat, saying John Wall would torture Lonzo Ball. Gortat was responding to Ball's father, LeVar, saying Lonzo won't allow the Wizards to win in L.A. How do you feel about
I take exception to the Lakers taking exception.
I agree. Like, my thing is, like, what did y'all think was going to happen? Like, y'all knew this was going to be the narrative from the very, very, very beginning. So, of course, like, come on, man. Like, let's just be real.
It's a long year. Y'all going to have a lot of exceptions to take.
Yeah, so y'all might as well just stop trying to respond to everybody because it's going to continue to happen until he does what he has to do against elite guards. And, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's been ducking De'Aaron Fox forever, so,
Year and some change.
They need to just be more worried about what to play on the floor tomorrow. Because this, Wall been kind of quiet. And we all know last time somebody barked was the Celtics, the funeral game. We saw what happened.
It's wolf season.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
The funeral game. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Call it the funeral game.
It was. Florida head coach, Florida football head coach Jim McElwain said players and family members have received death threats due to a 3-3 start. What are your thoughts on that? Players and their families.
That is entirely too much. I need y'all to dial it back a little bit. Death threats because they started 3-3. Come on, guys. Let's be humans. Let's be adults. Because I know most of these people that's probably doing these threats aren't really adults. But come on, like, I understand that, people take that stuff very, very seriously. People gamble on games or whatever they do. But these are people, and then I always hate, when people's family gets lumped into stuff. Like, I don't play football. So because my brother play on the team, y'all gonna mess with me? Like, I don't play football. They could not even know what's going on. So I don't think that's right. I think that's very, very foul. And I hope whoever did that, or whoever the people are, because it sounds like it's multiple. I hope they reevaluate their lives and get a life, honestly.
Just another reason why I feel athletes should be paid in college. So that's all I have to say.
Treated like pros.
That's another point.
I'm just gonna give a warning. Everybody, family, are not. Some family members are touched. Let's just say that. So be careful who you send threats to. You roll up on because it could backfire.
Don't be no internet gangster. And then when somebody roll up to your front door, you don't know what to do.
And there's a lot of them. So just be careful. Greek Freak is averaging 36.8 points on 65% shooting from the field, 10.8 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 2.3 steals a game. Is he the front runner for MVP right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's so, I love him because, like, he's so humble about it too. Like, he's like, I'm just out here playing my game. Like, I'm about to just do this. Like, it's amazing.
Don't let that fool you.
I mean, you know what I mean.
On camera, he do talk that on camera. You're right.
I mean, not in the midst of the game. Like, in the midst of the game, he a dog. But I mean, like, he does a little dial back, like, in his little accent.
Right,
and
he
everything.
do that. He like, man, I just want to play hard. They really do. I just want to play hard and everything.
You out here giving people 40 pieces. I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, he's like, F LeBron. That's how that go.
Yeah, ready to give everybody that work in Greek. So.
Last question. The Phoenix Suns started out 0-3, losing in historic fashion, which resulted in head coach Earl Watson being fired. Afterwards, Bledsoe tweeted, "I don't want to be here." Now, he was sent home doing shoot around because supposedly the GM got wind of it. They asked him about it, and Bledsoe said he was at the salon. Of all the excuses, but
Wait, what?
Yeah, he said he was at the salon when he said that.
At the salon?
Yeah. So he was shipped home before yesterday's game, and they're trying to trade him. He's trying to ship him. The Suns responded with their first win of the season, 117-115 win over the Kings without him. How bad does this make Bledsoe look?
Bad. To me, it reminds me of that whole thing where, like when DeMar DeRozan was like, I mean, if we had LeBron, we would probably win too. Like, it's that mentality. It's like you can't teach that mentality to people. Like, you can't give people the drive and the fight to push through the adversity. So it's like if we just starting the season, we only 3 games in and you already quitting, You know, like I'm already taking steps to try to rectify things, getting rid of coaches, try to shake things up so we don't have this prolonged. But you supposed to be, you know, our guy, one of our guys, and you just out here on Twitter, which is why I keep trying to figure out like why these celebrities, athletes, or whatever just tweet whatever they want willy nilly and just don't think it's going to affect them. Like, you're not a regular person. Like, I'm not saying that they're not a regular person, but like, you don't have a regular job. Like, that's going to affect you. So they need to stop and think about what they do. And being at a salon, who cares where you were? You still said it. But to me, it just shows him that he doesn't have that drive. It's like as soon as adversity come up, he's like, man, I don't want to be here no more. So I think it is going to be a bad look for him because, you know, what team is going to want to pick somebody up like that? You know, unless that they are desperate to the point where like they need a point guard. You know, when they're like, all right, maybe we give him a year deal or something like that, just to kind of to get through this year until we can find somebody else. But I think it was a bad look for him.
I just don't care. It's like a year too late. Your trade value's down. The Suns are already ready to move on without you. I'm glad that you finally figured it out. It's a bad look because going forward, you have to go after you get traded. Eventually, you're gonna have to fit into a new locker room. It's not a good look. You're gonna have to win people's trust over after this. I'm just not a fan of it because it's not like you're 19 or 20, 22, anything like that. So I just feel like you should know better.
And also with him, he's part of the reason why they're 0-3. You know, he got the big contract, showing a lot of promise, but he hasn't really gotten better, you know, after the injury or whatnot. And he's supposed to be the veteran leader and stuff like that. That's a perfect example of why they're 0-3. There's no leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be the point guard and everything, and you basically saying you quit. You just want to bail out. And then with the money your contract warrants, along with the production, along with the depth in the league at point guard, it's like, bro, where you gonna go? Like, every team got a point guard, so you gotta look in the mirror, man. Because it'd be one thing if he was hooping and everything. Then I can sympathize with him. They're not giving him any help or whatever, but it's not that. He's part of the reason. He just got comfortable once he got the money, like we said about Bennett. So, you know, I'm not trying to hear that, but yeah, it's definitely a bad look.
Yeah, as you said, that's a great point. It's tough out here as a point guard in the NBA right now.
Yeah,
with all these young kids waiting. Again, like, it's a year too late. If you threw this tantrum a year ago, you might have a little bit of trade value. Right now, I'm interested to see what the Phoenix get in terms of return, because you might want to. I mean, they got a bunch of cap room. You might end up just getting waived.
Especially with the I like the youngster doing James.
Yeah.
Man, he got talent.
Yeah.
He coming in like, all right, I'll take your.
And that's the other thing.
I'll take your money.
They fought. You know, the first game without Bledsoe, they as a team fought, man, from top to bottom.
But that means something. But I don't know if that's just saving face because all the heat,
Right,
the spotlight
I mean,
on them. So
fair.
they like, we all gotta play for our
we
jobs.
We gotta keep an eye on it. That's fair.
Because they like, we ready. GM like, man, look.
Or maybe it's just
Bounce
trying to
heads on roll.
CYA right now to make sure you got a job.
Yeah, but if they keep fighting like that, then you know. But it still make Bledsoe because look, they won without you. So it's just like, we definitely don't need you now.
And you were the leader. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, man, just a reminder, get over to finestbag.com, get over to mymomasports.com. And as always, see you next week, same time, right here on The Focus.